Imagine stepping outside in the middle of the night and seeing a brilliant, glowing blue pillar of light reaching up into the sky. Families stood on their balconies to watch the strange aurora, unaware that they were looking at an exposed nuclear reactor burning directly into the atmosphere. This diagram illustrates exactly what was escaping that core: ionizing radiation. Unlike smoke, these highly charged particles bypass biological warning systems. Locals inhaled the toxic isotopes as fallout settled on their skin, triggering zero physical pain. The initial tragedy was our biological inability to detect the threat unfolding around us. Within minutes, local firefighters arrived at this massive industrial complex wearing standard canvas gear. Thinking it was an ordinary electrical fire, crews climbed directly onto the debris, picking up chunks of radioactive graphite with their bare hands. The only immediate physical sensation was a strange metallic taste blooming on their tongues. By morning, the illusion broke. Responders were vomiting and collapsing from acute radiation sickness. The threat remained invisible to the naked eye, but its capacity to systematically destroy human cells was absolute. Less than 2 miles away sat Pripyat, a city with 50,000 residents, asleep right in the path of the fallout. Instead of sounding the alarms, authorities chose silence, delaying evacuation protocols to contain the panic. While a radioactive plume settled over the streets and playgrounds, state officials insisted the situation was under control. When these red and white evacuation buses finally arrived 36 hours later, officials told citizens to pack lightly, promising they would return home in a few days. The Soviet state used the fact that radiation can't be seen to construct a political cover-up, trapping their own citizens in the danger zone. Moscow tried to keep the story within their borders to protect their international standing. This map of Northern Europe shows how the disaster spread. The wind pushed a massive, toxic plume straight past the Iron Curtain. As radiation spiked across Sweden, loud alarms rang at nuclear plants hundreds of miles away. This external data forced Moscow to confess. A regime can censor a newspaper locally, but radioactive isotopes obey wind currents, not political borders. The fallout blanketed vast tracts of Europe, destroying local forests and driving a rise in regional health complications. Today, as you can see from these abandoned apartment blocks, nature has reclaimed the exclusion zone. Inside Pripyat, daily life remains frozen. Desks and textbooks sit rotting in derelict classrooms, left exactly as they were dropped in 1986. Sites built for joy, like this yellow Ferris wheel, now stand as permanent, rusting monuments to the danger of the area. The tragedy of Chernobyl was a dual failure, a horrific engineering disaster, compounded by state denial. A conventional explosion ends in seconds, but radiation, much like systemic deception, poisons the environment for generations without making a sound. What do you think was the primary failure? The engineering mistakes that caused the explosion, or the government cover-up that followed?